What's up, guys? We're in Hong Kong right now. You can see it's so loud and yeah, man, different world out here. This is Causeway Bay and we're gonna go to 3 stores: graph paper, IT, and ink. All stores I've known about online and look insane. So I'll take you through it. Hey guys, welcome back. It's day 2 in Hong Kong. I spent a lot of the morning talking to my parents about how different everything is here compared to Shenzhen. So yeah, it just feels like a different world. Maybe you can see behind me, but there's a lot happening. It feels very tight together. If we focus specifically on the fashion, yesterday I went to Graph Layer and then a store called IT. I think it's IT Hysan. And these were great stores. A lot of cool pieces that I tried on and tried to get some clips for you guys. However, the feeling was quite a bit different than the boutiques in Shenzhen. It doesn't have the Chinese feel, so to speak. For one, more people speak English, and so it's not like they greet you in Mandarin. That sets it apart. Graph Layer, which is one of the stores I was most excited to go to, had a distinctly Japanese feel, I would say, from the designers they carried, but the style in general. It predominantly featured this brand Stein, which, if you are familiar with some of the boutiques in Japan, this is like a very distinctly Japanese brand. So yeah, it didn't really feel like I was shopping in China, but I still had a good shopping experience. Maybe you can hear around me, but it's really noisy everywhere, which is a little bit stress-inducing. The main thing is the stoplights. When it gives you the Walkman symbol, it goes dee 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 dee. And it speeds up like really rapidly, and then you're like, okay, I'm crossing the street. So I just feel that a lot of things have this kind of sense of urgency, which is kind of tiring. I think this would be a really challenging place for me to live. I'm only gonna stay here 2 days, and I think that's enough. Of course, I won't get a great feel for the city, but let's just say it's not my ideal location. I also found it a little bit difficult to run just due to the total lack of green space. So yeah, I'm gonna make the most of it. I always think with traveling, the sweet is not as sweet without the bitter. So with that being said, let's have a great day 2.
Helplessly hoping her harlequin, others nearby, awaiting a word, gasping at glimpses of gentle true spirit. He runs, wishing he could fly
From the Hong Kong local.
only to trip at the sound of goodbye.
It's my last day in Hong Kong. I was only here 1 full day and then 2 half days, so very short time, but I'm gonna show you my pickups. 1 really big one and then 1 impulse purchase. So in that sense, I'm kind of happy to be leaving because it's very easy to spend money here. All right, we'll jump into it. The first piece is this bag from Omar Afridi. I believe this is called the Oscar bag. And if you've watched all of my videos, I guess, you may have seen that in my previous capsule wardrobe video, I talked about wanting to have like a crossbody bag. Overall, I'm not a bag person. I almost never find them like desirable, so that is not my part of the fashion niche, so to speak. But this bag, I think, is near perfect. So I really wanted this bag for my trip, but on Essence, it was really not dropping that fast. And all my items on my Essence wish list have been terrible this year. So it just didn't drop enough in time for me to buy it. But even better, I found it 50% here in Hong Kong. Being a little bit sick, but I found it at the IT Haisan store. And I actually tried on a pair of Kiko pants there and an Omar Afridi hoodie and was like, okay, and about to leave. So I was truly walking out the door and then I saw this up on a display. And so I asked the sales associate, hey, how much does this cost? And he was like 50%. I was like, I'll take it. So it's one of those boss mode moments in a store where you can actually buy something. Usually I like try a lot of stuff on and then I'm like, sorry, you know, not today. But this one, 50% off, still not cheap by any means, but I think they just nailed it. They also did this bag in a corduroy leather version, like a faux corduroy. And it was so cool, but I almost prefer this brown and black one. It's just enough of a twist where it's interesting, but I think overall incredibly subtle. The leather is very, very soft and squishy. You can see how the bag kind of drapes, but remains with a little bit of structure with the cornered shape. It just checks all the boxes for me. So maybe you can see this is how it is. I'll maybe do a little bit of B-roll, but slightly formal. And then I think also with the little snap detailing, which has become an Omar Afridi signature, the details are just really well done. Zip closure, so this will be my go-to bag / accessory for the rest of my trip. Really happy with this one. All right, the next pickup I bought from Ink Clothing. Now, if you are into artisanal or avant-garde brands, you are definitely familiar with this retailer. Oh, something just crashed. You're definitely familiar with this retailer. They carry Uma Wong, Ziggy Chen, Carol Christian Poel, and a bunch of designers like that, MA+. So they're really kind of a leader in the avant-garde space, at least that's my understanding. So I knew they were in Hong Kong, but I was almost debating not going because you know those brands are so incredibly expensive. But I decided, okay, you know, this is a kind of once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in a sense to see many of these brands, because usually you can mostly just find them online. So I ended up going, and I really, really recommend it. You know, I kind of had this idea in my head, I don't know when this was planted, but of like, you know, wandering into some hole-in-the-wall store that has some of the best products in the world. You know, like you stumble into somewhere and you're just like, whoa, what is this shit? This is that store. The outside is unmarked. You have to be in the know, and then you like click the second floor, they buzz you in, and then it's just some of the best clothing in the world. The fabrics I was blown away by, but they did have a sales section. So I knew I was in danger at that moment, and I picked up this turtleneck. Yeah, I picked up this turtleneck from Petrichor, Shanghai-based designer. I believe he's only like 24 years old, but he's killing it. Really unique cuts and silhouettes. And normally I'm not a turtleneck person, not at all actually. I feel like myself personally, I look really uptight when I'm in a turtleneck. But it's really just a simple kind of slim fitting piece that has this twisted detail in the front, and then it also twists down in the back and kind of cinches closer to your waist. So I think it sits really nice on body. From afar, this is pretty much just a basic turtleneck, but it has that twist. And then also they have thumb holes, so you feel a bit like a ninja while wearing it. At first I was like, I really should not buy anything. I'm already traveling, but ultimately I have no buyer's remorse, so pretty psyched on this one. That's gonna wrap up my whole experience in Hong Kong. If you look hard enough, I think you will find cool clothes here. So that's what happened to me, and so I would say the shopping here is prime. As far as the city as a whole, I was here a very short time. I think in order to really get more of a feeling of Hong Kong, you need 5 nights. That would be kind of my guess, because there's so much to see outside of fashion. You know, there's great museums, there's good views. You could go into the mountains and hike a little bit more. But it is super, super crowded, and it has a little bit of a suffocating feeling for me. Some buildings are really tight. There's a lot of these like stacked apartment complexes that rise up from the sky. I found it very difficult to run, because as soon as you're back in any sort of like city street, like out of a park, you're just running into crosswalks and people constantly. So yeah, mixed feeling on Hong Kong, but I think it was definitely worth coming here, and just a very, very interesting city. So later today, I take the fast train back into mainland China to Guilin. Gonna be a beautiful scenery, so that will pull away a bit from the fashion content, but I think still will be really beautiful to see. And I'll see you guys in the next video.